Okay. Now, so to start, we are starting new. I want to start afresh. So to start using PHP, so you need to download what we call XAMPP for Windows. So when you click this line, to take you to where you download XAMPP. So from here, you click on XAMPP. After you click on XAMPP, it will show your download, and from the download, you will run it. So when you installed it, there are some changes you will see from your system. You will see this file. So you double click. So it will show down there. This is it. So this one is already running. Do you understand? So it's already running. Let me stop it so that we can start it again. So when you click on this, so now it's showing. If you go to your, so before, for you to start using XAMPP, you have to use two, three things here. Number one, I think we talk about what is Apache. Apache is mostly used for PHP and for PAL. So this is a library for PHP and PAL. MySQL is the database for PHP. And the version of MySQL we are using now is MySQL version 5. So now we are using, so there is another one, FileZilla. FileZilla is mostly used for uploading your files into server. So now we are not using MySQL and the others now. What we just need right away is Apache so that we can be able to use our PHP files and MySQL. So then I will close it. It will be running background. After that, one of the things we need to know while running Apache is that it always stores its file in C file, C root. So when you click on this PC and you click on local disk, you'll be able to locate XAMPP. This is XAMPP here. This is it. So when you open XAMPP, you see htdocs. So when you see htdocs, this is where all your files are saved. So for me, I created this file called web page. So there I save all my files. That's that. And another thing is, when you want to run this, go back there, MySQL stop running. So after your MySQL is running, click on admin. And you click on admin, it will take you to the admin page for MySQL. And for the real interface of it, you can type local host. When you type localhost, it will bring you to the PHP interface. That's the dashboard for XAMPP, where we have MariaDB, that's data Apache, MariaDB plus MariaDB plus PHP plus Spark. So but these are not what we need. What we actually need is our web page, which is a web page. That's what's the our file, which I told you that we created here, which we created there. So that's what I want to access now. Look at the way I accessed it. I deleted that dashboard and I put in web page. So now these are my files. You understand? These are all the files I have in that folder. These are the files. So if you are running PHP code and you are not running it through this process, it will not run well. It will just be showing the PHP's script without execution. It will be showing the script without what? Execution. So you must come through this process, localhost and the file name of yours. So recently I'm working on my housing. So this is the interface for my housing. So now that's that. So you understand how to get to this point now when you are creating your own personal website using PHP. So one of the little things we are going to do today is comment system, a comment system. So now I've taught you how to create your personal. So we are going to start it again. So for you to be able to understand, I will delete this. I won't save this. Let me delete this. So how do we access our what's it called? Database? That is where we are going to now. So that local host is what we are going to type again, and we are going to put PHP my admin. But there's another alternative way to access it. When you enter your dashboard, if you enter your dashboard, this one is still loading. Okay, you select PHP my admin. So that's what I wanted to type here the other time. So PHP my admin. Look at my database. So there is something we created the other time. So I will add another database, but I won't add it from here. Let me add it like this. Post merit data. It will add it to this folder. Look at it. It added it to this folder. The reason why it's adding it to this folder is because they have the same startup name. Look at most merit software class, most merit software data. Do you understand? It always have what? Most merit, most merit, most merit. That's an identifying name. Do you understand? So after we've done this now, I think we were creating something in software class the other time. So let's use the software class. Now, these are all new database. We've not really used it. So let's call it, what do we want to call it? User account. And we said what the number of fields we need inside there. We need something like, okay, since we want to get from our user, we want to get their first name, their last name, their first name and their surname, their email, their phone number, their password. And we want to create a unique identification number, another unique number, so that whenever we are making any other, creating any other functions, we will just be able to call that unique number, not the name and not the phone number and not the Gmail of that person. But one thing unique about every user is their Gmail and their phone number. Nobody bears those things with them. It's a personal thing. So in case you want to use something as a unique identification number for any other person again, their phone number and their Gmail, it's for them, it's not for anybody. Nobody can, two people can be using it. You understand? In fact, if any other person have it, the system will tell them that somebody have it already, so you can choose another one different from what is on ground before, what you have before. So what we are going to get now is what? 7 fields. So we are going to create it that way. So number one is going to be the unique ID that we keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's an auto increment. So it will keep counting itself without we counting it. So it has an inbuilt function for MySQL database. So we call it user ID. Int to be int. It will be, this is the auto increment. So when I click on this auto increment now, it has make it primary. It make it primary key, and also it will auto increment it. So it's an integer as well. That's the data type. I think I taught you something about data type the other time. So data type is what differentiates your data from another. Like you can't put together a string and an integer. A string can be letter, an integer will be number. So you cannot mix it up. That's alphanumeric. When they are mixed up, it becomes alphanumeric, alphabet and number. So alphanumeric. But now we are not mixing them up. We are strictly concentrating on integer. That's why we abbreviate it into int. So, so we are looking at first name, first name and last name. So Vaka, that's 250. Vaka, variable character, that's what we are, because it's a string. We call it 250. Another one, we are looking at Gmail. Gmail, we are looking at variable character. So in this Gmail now, we can use test. Test will help us to receive, what's it called, both variable and number. So we are not going to put, it doesn't have a limit. Well done, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it doesn't have a limit. So we can just it will automatically increase itself. So now we are looking at phone number. We have also use test. It doesn't have a limit. So I said I want to create a unique identification number for every user. So and that one does not auto increment, but I will create a function from my code to always create that that unique number. So we call it reference. User ref no user ref. Okay, you want to know the gender that is coming. So you use gender, and the last one will be this. So gender will be variable character. The reason why we put test here is because sometimes our number used to come with plus a number and sometimes bracket. So when we are looking at accessing people all over the world, we are not restricting it to Nigeria alone, all over the world. So when we are looking at reference as well, I will put ah, reference, I will use test. So now there is something we are left, there are two fields we've not added, which number one is the password and the password, okay, the password and the date it was created. So now how do we add it? Please don't forget, pay attention to this. How do we add it? We've already created all the fields we want. We've already added it. So this is how you add it. See, from this point, you can add, you want to add two fields. And afterwards, so, so now we have it. Do you see where we have it? So we have what's it called? Password. We have password. We have, we make it test, and date. So there are two ways to add date. You can add date from your code, and you can tell the database to keep adding date for you. So I want to, uh, I will call it inserted date. Inserted date, the day it was created. So I will call it, so I'll call it timestamp. This is it, timestamp. So automatically it will be adding the time for me. That's what the timestamp does. It adds time on it too. Hope you understand. Very good. So now we save it. Please enter a valid length. For what? So uh, valid length for what? Okay, okay, this one. So we didn't gender. Let me just make it 50. Okay. Hope you understand. So, and you see, he's not going to question us. Do you see that other ones that I did put didn't ask a complaint? So to tell you that they are already inbuilt for those things. Now, these are the numbers of fields we just added now. The user ID, the first name, last name, Gmail, phone number, gender, user ref, num, password, inserted date. So now, this so two things are going to work without stress here. The inserted date and the what's it called? User ID. Because I told user ID to always auto increment on its own, and I told this inserted date to be a timestamp. Automatically, anytime it sees a new record, it will stamp the date. So now that we've that's the part for database size. Sorry, bless you. So now we have from here, we want to access this. We don't have any record yet, but we can insert record from here. In case you just want to test it, first name, Shegun, last name, smart, phone, 081 68 9362. It's not typing. So that's not where it's supposed to. Okay, so this is where gender. Okay, Gmail. Smart at gmail.com. Phone. That's phone. Gender. Mail. User ref number. Mm, 111222333. That's the user identification. Password. The password we just say smart 2023 at hashtag. So timestamp. Let's see. I've told this times. You see current timestamp. Can you see something you put at the front bracket? It's telling you is a what? It's a function. So let me leave it to do it justice. You see the timestamp. Look at it here. You see, I'm not the one who I didn't add time. So look at our records. And all these records are editable. This, according to this latest exam that we have. Let's say, for instance, this email was wrong. Something is wrong. So if I put something, I could say smart Shegun. Can you see? So I've edited it. So for now, that's where I will just stop with. Well, we are still going to further with other ones. So now let's go back. Let's go into our PHP code line. So now let's go back into our file. We want to start coding now. For you to start coding PHP, you need to be able to create your own personal file. So I've created a file. I called it software class. So I will, what else so I call this software class. Let me use this one. Let me create another one. I'll call it test page so that I can move. Now I will call it PHP tutorial class. PHP tutorial class. So when you click on it, there's something I told you about how to start file the other time. Realize that I'm creating folders into folders and folders. Is for me to be able to manage my file, for me to be able to put them in order, and to be able to manage them in places. So, like, you can't just create file in different place. But your system to have a sense, you to be confused. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? For instance, if you want to upload your file into server, if you create your file all around, by the time you will pick the file up to send it somewhere, you realize that it's scattered because you did not put them in a folder. So now, for you to start a folder, I've taught you before how to create your own file. So you look for notepad, notes, you look for test notes, and we are going to call it index. And I told you about extension. For PHP, you're going to put .php. Yes. So when you click on .php, now this is where we are going. For you to start PHP, so now this is how to start coding PHP. You need to understand this very well. One of the main purpose of this file, what I use index here, is to tell you that this file is the number one. Anytime you are running the code, this is what the system will understand, and you'll be able to run this. So now, now that we are here, we want to create some, we want to create some form and also send it into database. So I don't want to take much time. So I just want to be fast with what I'm doing. That's why I copy some code from W3. So now look at this. First name, last name. What are the things we have again? We have Gmail. 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 Phone. So for Gmail, you change this to email. Phone, change this to number. And gender. So gender, we have gender, gender. So I want to change this one to place order instead of value. So I prefer placeholder. So it will automatically disappear whenever you place your mouse pointer into it. So this one will be uh, first name. This one will be last name. Gmail, mail. This one will be phone number. For gender, I'm going to put here. Hope you are getting well what we are doing. So, so option, first option is going to be value. See what I'm typing. Can you see what I'm typing? It's a skill, and you need to know it. At my piece of work, the boy came there to learn, and when he was typing anyhow, begin to tell them, you can't help us here. So now, gender, gender, okay. Another thing, last thing, I think we have first name, last name, Gmail, phone number, gender, user reference. That one will generate it. Password. So that password, if you don't want to type it yourself, hmm? Hold on first. Okay, insert password. Now, all these things that we've done now, we now want to call them in PHP, inside into our PHP. Now look at this last field, this one. That's input type submit, value submit, and what we need to put a name. That name is what make it unique. So call it submit data. So when we come back up here, so just if it's set, so the first thing we're going to do is we're gonna be so now our first name. put it here. Here. So we have how many? First name, last name, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So last name, Gmail, Gmail. Gender and password. So that's that for. So now we want to insert this value into our database. But I won't just go about it like that. So so if you want to check, you need to check if this data, any of this is empty. So we say if first name, sorry, if empty is a function in PHP. First name. So we want to echo. So you see error. First two. Hmm. First name is empty. So else last name. Last name is empty. If empty, sorry, something happened. Mm. We have true error. So hope you are getting what I'm doing. So first name, last name, we are doing it for every one of them. Nice. Supposed to do sanitizing, so that will be another class. So Gmail, Gmail is empty. Phone is empty. Gender is empty. Password is empty. Okay, WS. So now, you understand? Now we have all these things. Now we want to establish uh, database connection so that we can pass our record into the database. From here, let's check our time. Now, we want to create our database connection. Now, we want to create our database connection. So we're going to do it this way. Con equals to new video, video. So my SQL host equals to host db name equals to database. So now, what is our database name? What database are we connecting to? So these are the things you need to know. Automatically, when you install something, when you install your MySQL, your Apache, that's that MySQL, it will give your account a name. The username will be root and the password will be empty because we did not create any password. So automatically now when we come here, the database we just created will be this. So now the number one, the host will be local host database. What database are we connecting to? Don't forget we created a database here. And the name of our database where we is Postman, so we copy it and we put it. Hmm? Yes. Now, um, so that's for the database. For username will be root, and the password will be what? Will be empty. So that's that. So now we want to check. We need to try put some parameters, some functions, so that we want to for PDO error mode. Exception. So down here we need to be the connection variable we created and the sorry, set attribute good video. Hmm? Yeah, it's recording. Video. exception. So now, this thing just equals to is a function for managing our database connection. So video it's so after that we've done that. So we're going to look at so, so now we want to try put something that will help us to always catch our errors if that it won't obstruct our code. So only tell us that there is error somewhere or not. So now if you come here, it's supposed well if it's connected, it's supposed to echo something. Connected successfully. Else catch video exception to echo get message. So now we're going to test this code now for now. Let's test it. So now this is it. Where's the software class? PHP tutorial class. So first name, Gmail, check my gmail.com. Phone number 090 22334455. So select gender, male. Sorry, my wife. Ah, let me